Welcome back to Archero 2, and today we're talking about the circle build, the orbs that are circling around your hero and destroying the enemies. So before we get into it, I would like you guys to subscribe and like the video to promote it in YouTube algorithm so I can make more content like this for you, and let's go straight into it. The main idea of the build is that you will use the orbs, the circling orbs, to do damage. And the main thing what you can do about making the build is getting the right runes. I already made a couple of videos on the runes, you can watch those for more details, but today we will focus on the circle build. Basically, there are two runes of each type for the circle build. They are pretty obvious. They're called Soul Blade Circle, that turns circles into soul blades. They do more damage, and if you can get it higher than epic, that will give you even more bonuses. The cool thing about the runes for the circle that they give you circle damage flat bonuses, which are pretty good, and unless you have the epic rarity rune, it doesn't matter that much what you go for. Just go for the higher tier runes. But starting with epic, you would like to get the proper runes, so we will get those two. And for the ability runes, we will get the circle that will allow us to start with 2 weak circling orbs, which is a good start because sometimes you might have issues getting those things. And the second one is Ring of Agony. It will start with the Ring of Agony that will increase damage by the monsters who are inside it by 20%, and moreover it can stack with the Ring of Agony skill, so it's really good, and the further you go the better it is, and it also adds circle damage, so it's a no-brainer. Those 4 runes are the must. You might also want to get the circle edged rune. I don't have it right now because I'm mainly using the arrow build. You can use this one as well. Basically, as for the 2 other runes, I recommend you guys to get the Flame Nox Touch and Flame Nox Seal, and maybe, depends on your build, on your priorities, you might want to go with the arrow rune that will allow your main weapon to be useful as well, or if you really don't want to use it, we will do that right now, which is weird. You can use several options. Another option is Frost Shock Touch, so you will get ice and lightning damage bonuses because some circles are elemental ones, so it will boost them, and that's a good bonus. Or you can make an off build. It's a really good way to couple the circles with the sprites because those shoot when you move as well, and they work really well together. You won't need to stand at all, you will have to move around the battlefield, and both your sprites will shoot to the enemies that are far away, so that might help you with the range DPS, and your orbs, your circles will do the close range damage. And yeah, another option is going for the flame, frost, lightning, poison thing. I like the Flame Nox anyway because it increases fire damage, which is really great when upgraded against the bosses and single targets, so it will give you a pretty decent boost of the damage. So my tip, use those runes for the fire all the time. They are really good. But yeah, you can kind of adjust it to your preference. You can use meteors, whatever. I prefer to get the sprites, especially since we'll be really close to the enemies. I'll get this one, Sprite Link, that will give us sprite damage for every extra sprite. That should be pretty good. And for the second one, for the ability one, we can get a melee sprite, which is okay-ish, but I really like the healing sprite because it allows us to start with one sprite that heals you. And I'm a bit sloppy, so I take a lot of damage, and that will allow us to get some extra healing. So we'll do this, or you can go with pure elemental build or add archery in it. It doesn't matter that much. For the blessing rune, you would like to use revive and probably like a shadow for extra dodge and extra luck. Those are really good options. For the equipment, it doesn't matter that much. I personally think that Griffin set will be the best one for the circle build because it allows you to get bonuses for the close range encounters, but I main Oracle set. Yeah, I main it really. So yeah, you would like to go for any of the sets, just make sure that you stick to the one that you like. Honestly, it doesn't matter that much. I really think that Griffin one would be the best one for the close range combat, but Oracle is good as well because you can get enhanced bow, and that will allow your projectiles to be shot automatically, so you can stack up the combos and get their bonuses as well. So yeah, right now we have the mix of different sets over here. It's a mess, but as you can see, the Griffin set is really good damage over time to enemies within 7 meters, more bonus to armor, that kind of stuff, a higher crit rate at closer distances, so it all works really well to enemies that are close by, although for some of those you would like to take damage, which is not nice. But yeah, I think Griffin set is the best one. Other sets are good as well, so pick the one that you like. As a noobs, we don't have that many options anyway, you just go for anything that works for you, the highest tier one. For your characters, it's really debatable. Alex is a good option because of the healing, because you might take a lot of damage if you're noob like me, but Nyanja is a good option as well because it adds movement speed, which is really good, so we will use Nyanja right now. Helix is nice for extra attack. Basically, any of the characters might work. I think the best one is Dracula though, because you get the life absorption, you get the life leech, and it is really good because you might take damage. If you are in the area where you're getting one shot, it doesn't matter that much at that point, so all of those are nice depending on who you have. I don't have that many options, so I'll go with the Nyanja because of the movement speed bonus. And for the weapon, it doesn't matter that much since you won't be using it that much unless you get an enhanced weapon, because you'll be running around quite a lot. So now when we have the equipment and the runes, let's talk about the skills. Obviously, you would like to get the skills that are beneficial for the circle build. Let's start with the legendary ones this time. Corrosive Field is really good. That will allow us to get 40% more damage to enemies inside of the ring, and as I said, it stacks with the rune, which is really nice. Energy Beam, Rapid Fire are not that great for the circle build because basically you don't want to use your weapon too much unless you get the enhanced weapon. Over here, we would like the Power Trio for the attack power, and well, Rapid Fire might be good for higher combo rate if you do the combo. If you use the Sprite Kings, will be the best option. Basically, depending on what do you have here. Sacred Protection, I don't like it that much. So overall, like, you don't need that many legendary skills over here. So Rapid Fire would be the best option to start. Then the Warrior Soul for extra damage. Then the Power Trio for max HP and damage, because we scale from the damage here. Now for the epic skills, it's a bit easier. Here you get the beam circles, which are really good. That allows you to do ranged damage as well, which is pretty nice. And they circle around. Super Blaze is fantastic if you have any source of fire damage, because it increases the fire damage so much it just decimates the enemies. Super Rotating Balls are really powerful orbs that are on the outer radius, so they are a bit further away, so really good, and they do crazy damage. Then we don't need any of those. Attack increase is nice, 25% extra damage. Super Venom is okay-ish. It's not as good as Fire, but still pretty much okay. You don't need the Tracking Eye too much. Soul of Swiftness for extra movement speed and a bit of attack speed is good enough. Then we get the Giant Strength for more attack power, but you will move slower. It's up to you if you want to get it or not. Most of those are not that needed. Let me... There we go. Weapon, Enchantment. Now this one is good. Even if you feel that it's lowering your DPS, it will still help you, especially later on, and in the boss fights you can still utilize your weapon, which is really helpful, and that will allow your weapon to do damage, because otherwise you'll be moving around a lot and avoiding enemy projectiles, and your weapon will probably won't shoot that much, and that will allow it to do it all the time, which is really great. Now let's move on to the rare skills. Swift Arrow is debatable, but I still think it's good because it will allow you to get higher combo with the Oracle set if you have that. If you don't use that, you probably don't need that. Short Range Strike is a really cool thing because it gives you attack power and it lowers the attack range into the circle, which basically matches your orb circle, so you will be in that range anyway. And it's really useful. It gives you 20% more damage, it lowers attack speed, it lowers attack range, but boosts attack speed, so overall really good. Stand Strong is totally useless for our build because we'll be moving a lot. Fairy of the Wind, pretty much okay, nothing really crazy here. All the luck bonuses are good because they will give you more luck if you don't get any better options. Anything that gives us attack power is good as well. Front Arrow, I mean, you probably don't want to take arrow bonuses unless you get enchantment weapon, because you won't be using it that much. The only exception is Blaze here for the projectiles. If you don't get the burning orbs, that will be your main way to apply fire, and fire is really decent, especially with that upgrade for the fire damage. It's really powerful. And the circle damage here is fantastic, 50% circle damage, really good. By the way, we're using the Game Bold wiki for the skills here, so we won't have to replay the game forever. And yeah, and now we go to the normal fine skills, and here we get the most gains for our circle build. So let's go over those. Not nice, bounce. No. Bane of Bosses, really good. It allows you to do more damage to the bosses and heal before the boss battles. That allow you to use angels for extra bonuses instead of the healing Rotating vampire balls that will give you orbs that lifesteal, are really good for self-sustain. All the sprites are good if you use the sprite build, by the way, so I will just keep that. Fire circle is really good because it applies the fire, and just as any circle, it will do extra damage. Then we get the ice circle, which is a fantastic way of stunning the enemies as well. So when the enemy is frozen, they will skip their attack pattern a bit, and you will be able to do more damage, or it will give you more headroom to avoid their projectiles. It will be complex with the circle build because, yeah, the enemies are everywhere and you have to avoid their projectiles close range. Then long range power, obviously not our thing. Poison circle is nice as well. Rotating thunderbolts, good for AoE damage. And rotating web will allow your orbs to form a web, which is weird. It allows you to do damage when the orbs are not hitting the target. It's not that significant damage bonus, to be honest. I thought it would be better, but it's still looking cool and might save you in some cases if enemies are getting way too close. So yeah, basically for the skills, take everything that increases your attack power, everything that gives you extra orbs or circles, and that increases circle boost. This is really powerful. It gives you pretty decent attack bonus. And yeah, if you get enhanced weapon, you can actually get the arrow bonuses as well, because you will be able to use your bow to apply frost or like blaze to the enemies. It's really decent. And for the edge runes, I think pulsing orb is weird. People reported that circle pulses are lower in the overall DPS, but the fact that it gives circle skills increased chance to spawn is really good, and circle damage is fantastic, so I think it's still worth it. I really hope that it will be changed to something like a circle radius increases, so it will be easier to hit the enemies. It will be making more sense, but overall it's still a must-have for the circle build. And then depending on what do you have as a secondary build, elemental domain is nice because most of your circles are elemental, and maybe sprites if you use sprites, or like arrow of echoes. No, I don't think it's a good idea. I think sprites are better option, but yeah, it's up to this, depending on what you use as your off build. So now, before starting the actual combat trial, we will remove Arrow of Echoes, otherwise it will be really hard to get the circle upgrades. If you have the Edged Circle rune though, you must use it all the time. I don't have it, so yeah. Let's go into the chapter. I tried the last one, but it's for the ranged build, so it's not good. Let's go to this one. I don't know, doesn't matter. I just want to show you how you want to progress here. So, survival run. It's pretty good for the circle build, and we get laser orbs straight away. So, as you can see, we are already having 4 orbs circling around, and it's so much easier to do stuff right now. Basically, what you want to do, you want to be running around and getting enemies in the really close proximity between those 2 orb circles. So the enemies should be like right between them, so both of those orbs will hit them. In the survival levels, though, it doesn't matter that much. None of those are good. Let's get the sprite attack. Since we're doing the sprite off build, that might be good. So the cool thing about the sprites, that even if you use the orbs for the close range, the sprites can do damage at the range. So you will have some long range opportunities here. Let's get the invincibility potion. It's a really good skill as well for the circle build, because yeah, you will probably get hit a lot, and you would like to lower that incoming damage, because it's so easy to die if you are not careful enough. Actually, I'm really curious if you can get the star if you get hit. Everyone is dead. Oh! Yeah, if you're getting hit with the invincibility potion, we will see. There we go, we get in the circle boost straight away. That boosts the damage quite a lot. Max HP on the angel, because we don't take damage, we're that good. Oh, I got hit somewhere already. God damn it. And yeah, basically you just want to get as many orbs as possible now, and that should be enough to get rid of the enemies. The main problem that you want to be close to the enemies, and you really would like to avoid getting hit in any case, even if you're not doing the trial attempt and that kind of stuff, because you really don't want to lower your health. It's hard to recover. Let's get attack power. It's always nice with the orbs because it gives you more DPS and your circles will do more damage. And look at that, it's just massacring everything, even without the edge rune. That's supposed to give us a lot extra damage. So right now we can get a lower attack range for the short range strike. As you can see, the range of the bow now, well, staff in our case, is kind of the same as the range of our damage increase radius, which is really great. That allows you to do maximum DPS in any case, and it will make your weapon a really decent source of damage, even without the runes or anything. The only problem with this is that you really are moving around too much. As you can see, I'm moving around too much. You might be better at hero placement, but it's really hard because you need to avoid the projectiles, you need to stay in range of the enemies, and all that, and basically your weapon won't be shooting that much, so you need that and chance bow in order to make it work. I think I just got hit by the bow, but because I had the potion, I didn't take damage. Oh, look at that. 4 powerful non-elemental circle orbs. So now, look at that. Look what we have. We have crazy DPS right now because we get plenty of orbs. They are doing plenty of damage, and now projectiles, we don't use those. Underworld Warrior, more attack, Devil, let's get this one, it's good enough. So yeah, the main problem with the circle build is not getting hit, because it's like you're really close to the enemies, and when they shoot projectiles at you, you gotta be, oh my god, you gotta be ready and you gotta learn how to properly evade those. It's especially hard with some bosses like Sith boss, which is extremely annoying, and I hope we don't get this one right now. Oh yeah, it's a goddamn Squidward, whatever. Bulbasaur. So yeah, the problem with the bosses that for some bosses you would like to stay at range. And in that case, your circles won't be able to do that much damage. So it might be problematic to do enough DPS for those guys. But if you're patient enough and if you know the enemy movement patterns, that shouldn't be that hard for you. Oh! I don't want to take damage. The advantages of the circle build, though, that you really do decent damage quite easy. Bomb sprite, let's go. More sprites, more damage. We don't need health anymore. We are trying to do no hit challenge here. My god, I really want my weapon to be useful as well. So yeah, basically what you have normal, oh my god, non-elemental orbs on the outer side and elemental orbs on the inner side. So your goal is to actually make sure that both of those hit the enemy. Alright, what do we get now? Let's get the luck and dodge rate. Dodge is pretty good because it will allow you to totally avoid the projectiles, so pretty decent. Also, as you have seen, invincibility potion helps a lot, so if you can make it work, that will allow you to avoid most of the projectiles and stuff and just ignore them completely. Swift arrow should be good, I think. Let's get it. More combo faster, so it will get the enhanced weapon, it will help us. The problem is that, oh my god, there are so many projectiles, that's the problem. So yeah, the DPS is really good, but the enemies are getting way too close, and for me, with my reflexes, with my reaction speed, they are way too close, and I don't really have time to avoid the projectiles and stuff with all that mess that's happening on the screen, so it's a bit problematic for me. But I really like the circle build. It's the one that's making most fun for me because you can just destroy the enemies, and if you get the right combination of skills, you will just decimate the enemies. The damage output is fantastic. Sprite King, that would be good. So we're getting like 4 sprites right now. I think they will do pretty decent damage to the enemies already. Well, we're not getting really lucky with all the elemental orbs here, so I'll just get the potion right now, so we will get more revival potion and revival invincibility. And this is the last boss over here, so all we need to do is just to avoid its projectiles and we should be good. Half of the HP is done, and since we get a lot of sprites, it allows us to fight it from the range as well, so we don't really need to get too close, which works really well, and we don't really need to stand still at all, which is even better, so we can just move around and just collect the survival potions. They're called survival potions for me because I really will die without them quite easily. I don't know. We're done. We actually finished the run, right? Yeah, nice. Let me try to show you circle build in the boss battle. So we will try to make the build with the circles, and we get a good start with Ice and Vampiric Circle. I think Ice one would be better for the boss because it allows you to stun him, and yeah, once again, the elemental circles are in the middle. The normal non-elemental circles are in the outer area, and our goal is to get as many of those as possible. Why it's not freezing to ice though. The main problem that it's still RNG without the circle edge rune, because it's really hard to get reliable number of orb skills to do decent DPS, because without them you might be out doing like insignificant damage, let's put it like that. I really hope we'll get something like enhanced weapon here, so we'll be able to use our weapon as well to get the combo bonuses, but I'm not entirely sure. Wow, this is hard. Super Blaze is really good. Laser orbs are okay. They don't do that much damage to the boss, so we'll get the Blaze one. I hope we'll get the fire attack source somewhere, because right now we are not getting any. We get the laser orbs anyway, that's good. So as you can see, the more orbs we get, the more damage we can do to the boss, and we would like to make use of that. Poison. Nice. So we get even more stuff. What's that? Attack power. We don't need the web in this area because of the boss. Screw that. And as you can see, like if we'll stay close enough to the boss where, oh my god, the damage output of that attack was insane. Let's get attack power. In the area where we can do damage with the inner orbs, we will do the max DPS here. And it will be like pretty decent DPS as well. So it's not that low DPS source. It's really good. We are already at 90 million and we still have 30 seconds to go. You have seen how stun works right now. We just stunned the enemy and the enemy couldn't do anything about that. It was frozen and we could do even more DPS. The problem is the tougher the boss gets, the more damage it can do to us, and I really don't want to die. Oh my god, I died. That was close. But we managed to do 28.3 million DPS, which is good. My best try is 29, and that was with the edged rune that had bonus to HP and damage. So I think that shows you how circle build works. I personally still think that it's better to couple it with the normal weapon runes, because even if you don't get lucky with the circle skills, right, you will be able to use your main weapon for the damage. And that leaves you way more options than when you go all in into the circle build. But that leaves you without an additional option of making a sub build, like full elemental or adding the sprites over there. So it's up to you to decide how you want to run with it. But that's how I run with the circle build, and I like it quite a lot. Like usually when I get this build, I can go both arrow build, archer build that you probably have seen. You can see it in the playlist or somewhere in the hint over here, and with the circle build. And those are two of the strongest builds in the game, and they work really well together. So why not if you can get best of the both worlds? There we go. So that's a circle build for you guys. Let me know in the comments if I missed anything. I really like it. It's good against the bosses. It requires a lot of your skill in order to know when to avoid the enemy attacks, but it gives you insane mobility, and it's really great against some bosses. So I like both of those builds that I covered already, and I think next time I will cover extra specific builds, so like the sword build and the pride build. It will be really interesting to see how they fare in terms of competition with the main build. In any case, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel to promote the video in YouTube algorithms, and that will allow me to make more videos for you. Check out the video description for the wiki link, for the Discord, for the LD players who can play this on the PC like I do over here. Way easier to avoid the enemies. And don't forget important thing, go to the settings and turn off, or basically turn on effect reduction and skill choice skip animation. Those are really good and will help you to be so much better at the game. Other than that, guys, thank you very much for watching. It's been Stan Kosh. Have a good one. Bye.